What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, we are looking at some of the biggest mistakes I see when people form a real estate team. Stand by. All right, so what are some of the big mistakes that real estate agents make when they form a team? Number one, they go out and they hire a buyer's agent. I've covered this before. Just did an episode on when you are ready to build a team, and I covered this a lot, but just a quick recap of why this is a bad idea. If you hire a buyer's agent before you hire your admin, before you hire your inside sales agent, guess what? You have to generate leads. You have to be the admin, not only for yourself, but you have to do it now for this new buyer's agent. So what you've effectively done is, you've brought this person on, you've created more work for you, and you've decreased your profitability because you have to pay them the split, right? Instead of doing that, like I've said before, go out and hire an admin, go out and hire an inside sales agent, then hire the buyer's agent. A lot of people get this wrong. It's the biggest mistake that people make when forming a team because they've got a scarcity mindset. They don't want to pay a fixed salary for the admin or the ISA, so they go out and they hire someone on 100% commission and a split, and they're not building the infrastructure, right? They're adding. It's like trying to put the windows in on a house before you have the framing up. Like, just doesn't work. Next biggest mistake that people make when forming a team is they partner with another solo agent, right? So two solo agents, or even I've seen like groups of 4 get together. They don't have admin. They don't have, an inside sales agent, and they partner up. And this is one of the worst mistakes you can make because it's very rare that they're going to generate leads equally. They don't have the right admin support. They don't have the right inside sales agents. It's especially if it's 2. Like, how do you make decisions, right? If there's a deadlock, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. If it's one group kind of acquiring another group and they're both established teams, that makes sense, right? There can be scenarios where partnerships and mergers do make a lot of sense, but when it's like 2 solo agents who are like, yeah, we're going to form a team together, you're adding salespeople, but not the complementary skills, and it's very, very unlikely that you're going to, again, for over the long term, generate the same amount of leads, and so there's going to be jealousy and issues there. One person's not going to feel like they're pulling their weight, so it's generally a bad idea. Another big mistake that people make when they form a team is lack of training, right? They don't create the trainings in the systems. Like, they hire people and just expect them to kind of run with it. And initially, at first, until you've got systems and procedures, like, you have to train people up. You have to write out the procedures. You have to write out the expectations. You have to manage it daily. And I think this lack of training, lack of oversight, a lot of times, people wait too long to hire, and then they get busy. They can't do the proper training, and it just leads to a mess, right? So lack of training is another big one. I think another mistake when you're forming a team is this attitude that you always have to increase, right? I think a lot of times you can have an increase in, for 1, 2, 3, 4 years even, but at some point, the growth gets crazy and you kind of just have to take a pause to stabilize. I think all organizations go through this where they grow so fast that, at some point you have to pause. You have to get more profitable. You have to get more streamlined. You have to get more efficient. And I think the way like Wall Street works, they're always rewarding growth for growth's sake, and not really looking at efficiency, not really looking at profitability. And I think team leaders can get caught up in this too, and especially in the real estate industry with the kind of the awards that they do and how all that works. So you have to have an attitude that sometimes it's okay to take a pause to get more efficient. Another big mistake that I see with teams is the team leader exits production too soon. All right. You need a lot of really good marketing systems. You need a lot of really good administrative systems, conversion systems, CRMs. and a lot of agents, right? You need a lot of agents. And I think sometimes people will hire a couple buyer's agents and try to exit production, and they just don't have the profitability yet to do that. So I think for most situations, they're all a little bit different, but you're going to have to get to probably like 8 to 10 agents who are consistently doing 2 to 3 deals a month before you can really fully exit production. Now, there's things you can do to mitigate it. I think a great strategy is to hire a partner agent who's salaried, that has bonuses on your deals, and like you bring them along with you to a lot of your listing appointments, buyer appointments, and they end up being able to kind of take over a lot of that business for you. But initially, you're going to have to be the one in a lot of those meetings, a lot of those consultations with your buyer clients, with your seller clients. So, team leaders out there listening, don't exit production too soon. If you can avoid these 5 mistakes, I think you've got a lot bigger chance of succeeding in building out your team. And by the way, if you're building a real estate team, Carrie, Shull, and I want to help you do it. We've built a team that has sold billions of dollars of real estate, one of the biggest in the country. It's been number 1 in the DC market for many, many years. So if you want to partner with us and build a big team in whatever market you're in, we want to help you do that at eXp Realty. When you join us at eXp Realty, you're going to get the advantages of having a low commission cap, getting to keep more of your commission, getting ownership in the company, getting the ability to develop another stream of income through revenue share, and you're going to get us as partners helping you along the way. We're going to coach you on how to recruit, hire, train, and scale, how to build revenue share. We built one of the fastest growing groups at eXp Realty, and we want to help other people do the same thing. And by the way, you get to keep your own business model and operations. You get to keep your own branding. You just get support from us. You just get support from people who have been there and done that before. If you want to learn more about this opportunity, text me directly at 703-638-4393. Again, if you want to learn more about Carrie Shull and I sponsoring you at eXp Realty, send me a text message at 703-638-4393. Thanks a lot for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast podcast. We'll see you next time.